guys, welcome back to the channel, and today's video we are going to be planting this turtle tank for Danny or Slider. In one of my most recent videos you would have seen me build a basking area, so this is kind of the next step in getting this tank ready for Danny. So I'm going to start off with the grass. So when you're planting a tank, you want to take it out from this basket that they come in and take away the sponge. And the grass is mainly planted at the back of the tank, and as it grows and spreads you can trim it back or just let it grow. And you're going to take apart sections of it, so you're not going to plant the entire grass in one area, so you can have it all across the back of your tank. And once you have all the sponge off, you want to trim the top part of the grass before planting, and you plant it into the rocks or whatever you're using as a substrate. I'm using large pond rocks. They're large enough that the turtle won't actually eat them and choke, but they are harder to plant the grass in. And the next plant is going to be the Java Fern. And this is actually planted different than the other plants in the fact that you have to attach the roots onto things, so you can't actually plant it into the substrate or into the soil. And like the grass, we're going to take off the sponge and separate it into pieces. I think I'm going to use 3 different pieces, and this was probably the hardest plant to get the sponge off of because I think the roots are much bigger than the grass. Here we have a decorative anchor that already had a plant, but I didn't like the fake plant, so I cut it off. And these 3 items are going to be what I attach the plant to. And people usually use fishing wire, but I don't have any of that, so I'm using an elastic band. And once the plants root, then I can take the plastic band off. And the third and final plant that I'm going to be using is the Bacopa. And the Bacopa usually is planted along the front of the tank, and much like the grass, it's planted into the substrate. And again, you want to take off the sponge and separate it into pieces, and you can trim it back as well. This one was pretty big, so I trimmed a couple of the pieces off, but I left some of them long just because I like the look of it. And this one was actually the easiest to get the sponge off of. And here it is, all planted. As you can see, the Bacopa in the front, the Java Fern is attached to the wood, and you can see a piece of grass there, and along the back wall you can see more grass. And I was really excited about how it turned out, and I was really looking forward to how everything was going to grow and like take off, and how the plant would look in a couple of months' time. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and this is why. So he left 2 plants. Everything else is gone. That one is okay, and look at all floating around. So yeah, note to self, don't plant a turtle tank. It is a waste of time and money. Yeah, I'm guessing that if I had planted it months in advance, maybe it would have a chance. I only planted it a week prior to getting Danny. And the other thing I'm thinking is he is about 4 or 5 inches long in shell. So he's a pretty big turtle. So maybe a little baby one wouldn't do quite as much damage as he did. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Yeah, I think what a waste of time, but hey, at least the turtle was happy and got a few days of enrichment. Actually, by the 3rd day he had all the Java Fern eaten as well, and all that was left was the roots. But at least it gave him, like I say, some enrichment, and you know, he spent a couple of days hanging around with and eating plants and being destructive. So maybe not completely a waste. And probably my next video is going to be actually introducing you all to Danny. He's a new addition here at the Reptile Hotel Kerry, and a rescue turtle that we got from the local Irish rescue here. And as you saw on the video, you would probably have seen his shell is a bit wonky and bad, and more on that in the next video. So please stay tuned, and yeah, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment something, subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. And yeah, see you next time. Bye!